Position right there.
Lesnar trying to get the F5.
Calf crusher.
Hey WWE Universe, welcome back to All-in-One, your home for the latest WWE updates, breaking news, and epic match recaps. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. Let's jump right into it. No one expected the energy inside the arena to shift so suddenly or so dramatically, but the moment whispers began spreading backstage that Brock Lesnar had returned, the atmosphere snapped into something electric, something unpredictable, something that made even seasoned veterans raise their eyebrows. It wasn't an attack, not a violent ambush, but an overwhelming confrontation that sent shockwaves through the locker room. Brock Lesnar, a name that instantly commands attention, stepped into the backstage area with a presence so massive and so undeniable that it immediately disrupted everything happening around him. Staff members looked up from their work, producers paused mid-conversation, and superstars exchanged looks that said everything. The Beast Incarnate was back, and absolutely nothing would be the same. The unexpected backstage collision between two titans. What ignited the dramatic scene was a sudden surge of commotion in the hallway where Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed unexpectedly crossed paths. Witnesses described the moment as two storms colliding. Reed, known for his intimidating power and rising reputation, met face-to-face with a living legend whose aura alone could shift the tide of any situation. Words were exchanged, tensions rose, and even though nothing physical happened, the intensity was so palpable that several people instinctively stepped back, unsure whether they were witnessing the beginning of a monumental rivalry or simply the natural friction created when two dominant forces occupy the same space. Bronson Reed stood tall, unafraid, but even he couldn't hide the recognition that Brock's presence meant serious changes were coming. A verbal standoff that left everyone holding their breath. Rather than launching into chaos, the interaction unfolded as a heated verbal exchange, fueled by pride, competitive fire, and the weight of their reputations. Brock Lesnar, known for speaking volumes without saying much, let his silence and glare do most of the talking, while Bronson Reed matched him word for word with confidence that signaled he wasn't intimidated or willing to step aside. Their voices weren't raised in anger. Instead, they echoed with the unmistakable energy of two wrestlers who knew the moment could alter their futures. The crew around them didn't dare intervene. They simply watched, frozen in place, as the tension grew thick enough to make breathing feel difficult, knowing that rivalries this big don't just end with a stare-down. They begin with one. The internet explodes after leaked footage goes viral. Even though nothing dangerous occurred, a fan who happened to be nearby captured a few seconds of the confrontation on their phone, and once that footage hit social media, the entire wrestling world erupted. Within minutes, millions of fans were debating, speculating, and reacting in disbelief. Why was Brock back? Why Bronson Reed? And what did this mean for the future of WWE's power hierarchy? Hashtags began trending instantly, theories multiplied, and fans everywhere felt the kind of excitement they hadn't felt in a long time. It wasn't a scripted promo, not a planned on-camera moment, just raw, genuine tension leaking into the public eye, and that authenticity is exactly what made it explode online. Why Brock Lesnar chose this moment to return? The biggest question rumbling through the wrestling community was simple: why now? Brock Lesnar doesn't return without a purpose, and he certainly doesn't engage in a heated confrontation unless something or someone gave him a reason. Some insiders claimed Bronson Reed had been proudly calling himself the new unstoppable force in WWE, and although that confidence wasn't meant to disrespect anyone, it may have reached the ears of the Beast. Others believed WWE had been waiting for the perfect opening to reintroduce Brock, and Reed's rise created just enough contrast to stir intrigue. Regardless of the real reason, the message was clear. Brock's return wasn't random. It was intentional, calculated, and full of future implications. Is this the beginning of Brock Lesnar's next rivalry? Even with no physical harm, the intensity of the confrontation was enough to signal the possible start of something massive. Fans began imagining what a feud between Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed could look like. Two powerhouses built for destruction, two wrestlers whose size, strength, and presence could transform any match into a historic spectacle. The idea alone was enough to send excitement across the WWE Universe. Reed, proud and determined, would never allow himself to be overshadowed. Brock, experienced and dominant, would not tolerate being dismissed as a relic of the past. Together, they represented the perfect storm, and everyone watching could feel the foundation of a potential epic rivalry forming right before their eyes. Inside sources reveal WWE's interesting silence. What fueled fan speculation even further was WWE's complete silence following the confrontation. No official announcements, no backstage interviews, no promotional teases. Just an unexpected void where fans hoped for answers. Some insiders insisted that this silence was intentional, a storytelling technique designed to let social media generate buzz naturally. Others suspected WWE was testing new narrative angles by allowing real-time reactions to shape future creative decisions. Whatever the explanation, the lack of immediate response made the situation feel even bigger, even more mysterious, and even more likely to explode into something unforgettable in the weeks ahead. Locker room. Reactions. Respect, curiosity, and caution. People backstage were just as stunned as fans. Many superstars expressed excitement, believing Brock's return would elevate the competitive environment and push everyone to step up. Others admitted feeling cautious, understanding that when someone like Lesnar re-enters the picture, the entire roster's momentum can shift overnight. Bronson Reed, despite the intensity of the confrontation, reportedly kept his composure afterward, refusing to let the moment shake his confidence. Several wrestlers described the encounter as a passing of thunder, a symbolic clash where the old mountain met the new one. Respect was felt on both sides, even if it was wrapped in tension. Bronson Reed's rising momentum. Before the confrontation, prior to the backstage moment, Bronson Reed had been building an impressive streak. His dominance in matches, his confidence on the mic, and his growing popularity created the perfect storm for a new star rising up WWE's ranks. Management saw his potential, fans rallied behind him, and Reed embraced the growing spotlight with the kind of determination that makes champions. That's why his encounter with Brock felt so monumental. It wasn't just a random moment. It was the collision between a legend and a newcomer whose trajectory pointed straight toward greatness. Reed wasn't intimidated. He was motivated. The rumored role of Triple H in this developing story. Some behind-the-scenes rumors suggested that Triple H may have known Brock's return was coming and allowed the moment to unfold naturally rather than making it part of the scripted show. Whether true or not, the idea fascinated fans. Was this a test for Reed? Was it a signal that WWE is planning a new era of unpredictability? Or was it simply timing, Lesnar arriving at a moment when his presence would have maximum impact? Only time will tell. But Triple H has always been a master of building stories through subtlety, and his silence only intensified the mystery. A future clash that could redefine modern wrestling. If WWE chooses to move forward with Lesnar versus Reed, the outcome could be one of the most memorable rivalries of the decade. Fans are already imagining potential scenarios: a dramatic face-to-face segment on Raw, a contract signing filled with tension, or a high-stakes match inside a steel structure designed for brute strength and unstoppable power. This rivalry has the potential to reshape careers, elevate divisions, and recapture the raw intensity fans crave. Whether the upcoming chapters lead to alliance, conflict, or something entirely unexpected, the one certainty is that both men are now locked in the center of the WWE Universe. Will Bronson Reed rise stronger, or will Brock's shadow follow him? Only time will reveal how this confrontation affects Reed's journey. Some believe he'll rise stronger, fueled by the challenge of facing a legend. Others wonder whether the weight of Brock's legacy will become a constant shadow over Reed's path. But knowing Reed's resilience, determination, and unshakable self-belief, it's far more likely that he will use this moment as motivation to elevate himself, sharpen his craft, and solidify his place among the most formidable competitors in the company. The WWE Universe awaits the next chapter. Fans are left buzzing with questions, theories, and predictions, and that's exactly what makes this moment so powerful. It wasn't a match, not an attack, not a staged segment. It was a collision of personalities so intense that it rewrote the narrative without anyone stepping into a ring. Now, the entire WWE Universe waits for the next move, the next stare-down, the next spark that could turn this simmering tension into an unforgettable rivalry. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain. The Beast is back, the Colossal is rising, and the story is only beginning.